Okay, so I just recorded this freaking trade recap and my microphone was on mute. I recorded the whole recap and it was on mute. So sorry for the delay. But yeah, let's get into this. I took 2 trades today. One was a break even and one was a dub. I'm up around $14,092 on the day. So, oh my God, I got a burp. So coming into this morning, I was leaning more bullish. Why? Because we were inside of this daily for value gap right here. And we're also inside of this 4 hour, along with being inside of multiple of these 1 hours. So I know this kind of looks confusing right now, but just bear with me. So coming into market open, we ended up shitting the bed, right? And what did we leave when we shit the bed? Well, we left these relatively low highs, we left this LRO, we have Asian highs, and we have buy side above us, along with this unfilled 15-minute gap. So that's also why I was leaning more bullish on the day. Market opened, and we ended up taking out these 15-minute lows right here, creating an SMT. So the SMT actually looked like this for the time being. You'll see in a second. Get me back over to this screen. So we had a 15-minute SMT with this low right here, as you guys can see. We ended up sweeping it out. And then as soon as we got that, well, we ended up getting a 1-minute inversion. So we had a nice accumulation zone right here. We manipulated, taking out that 15-minute low, creating an SMT. We were also inside of a 4-hour fair value gap. We were inside of a multiple hourly fair value gaps as well. We had an internal SMT, as you guys can see right here. The 929 lows got swept out by 931. And the 929 lows right here did not get swept out sorry. So we had an internal SMT, we had a 15-minute SMT, 4-hour for value gap, 1 hour for value gap, and then a 1-minute inversion. We ran through this 1 minute for value gap with speed. So I liked it. I entered, and my targets were this unfilled 15-minute for value gap up here with my break-even point at these internal highs. Now, I was telling Discord, I rated this setup about a minus due to the fact that we had a unfilled 15-minute fair value gap right beneath our stop loss. So I was going to go quick break even. It was either at these internal highs right here, or once ES came into this, ES had a 15-minute fair value gap and also a 30-minute fair value gap in the exact same spot. So I was telling Discord, I was like, whatever happens first, if we take out these internal highs first, okay, we're going to go break even, or if ES takes fills those unfilled gaps first, we'll go break even. So ES ended up filling those gaps at around this candle right here. So actually a pretty like mediocre trade, but I like this setup with the confluences. I ended up going break even when price was like right here, and then we ended up getting stopped out with this candle right here. So this was a break even trade. However, like I said, I wanted to go quick break even due to the fact that we had an unfilled 15-minute below us at our stop loss, and then also for the fact that fucking ES filled those unfilled gaps. I don't know why I just blanked out. So what did we end up doing? Well, we ended up getting another accumulation zone, and when we manipulated lower, well, what do we manipulate into? We manipulated into this 15-minute gap right here. We still had this SMT holding, and then there's these hourly lows below us. So I kind of wanted to see these hourly lows get ran through before we do anything, especially if I was going to enter off of a 1 or 2 minute inversion. I'd want to see that get ran through first. However, we ended up creating this 5-minute fair value gap right here, and then the very next candle after tapping into this 15-minute and getting the AMD model, we got a 5-minute inversion. So even though, what time is this at? 9:50. So even though we ended up inversing the 4-hour and 1 hour for value gaps right here, I was still pretty convicted we were going to go higher due to the fact that look at the way ES was moving. ES was showing no signs of bear structure, even though we were inside of a 15-minute and 30-minute for value gap on ES. It wasn't really rejecting it. So I wasn't too worried about the 4-hour and 1 hour inversion for value gaps on NASDAQ. However, this is more of like a screen time thing. And I also told Discord that this wasn't the best of setups as well, but this was really the only setup that presented itself. We didn't anticipate on price chopping around. I wanted to see a flush through this 5-minute. Maybe these first 2 candles came down and retraced a little bit, and then we continue higher, but we ended up chopping around just a little bit. So I told chat that this was about another like B plus or A minus setup. There wasn't really an A plus setup that presented itself due to the fact that we were trading against time, and we also inverted those 2 high time frame gaps. However, ES was showing bullish structure, and we have bullish confluences in our in our direction. So it was all just built about building conviction at the end of the day. So other people might have had a bearish bias due to those reasons I just said, but I was still convicted we are going to go higher, at least for the time being, and at least take out these internal highs right here, which was then my break-even point. So as you guys can see, we're trading against time. 10 a.m. opens right here with a open low, or if we're trying to go long when 10 a.m. Presents itself, we want to see an accumulation and then an open low and high close, right? Well, we didn't get a open low in this scenario. Why? Well, because this SMT right here was protecting us. Okay, so we had an internal SMT on the 5-minute. These lows right here, the 930 lows, ended up getting swept out. And as you guys can see, the 930 lows did not end up getting swept out on ES. So I believe that was the reason why price, even though we were accumulating, did not manipulate lower at all. But we ended up hitting our break-even point right here. And I was telling chat, okay, I'm waiting for our break-even point to get hit so we can move stops to break even. However, we have to keep an eye out on ES because it's near these Asian highs. So I was like, okay, if we take out whatever happens first, right? If we take out this 15-minute, which is our take profit target, cool, we won the trade. But if ES takes out Asian highs first, then we're out of the trade and we're done. So ES was kind of edging Asian highs, and then as you guys can see at the 1019 candle, we ended up taking out Asian highs. So at the 1019 candle right here, I ended up just full closing, even though we were right next to this 15-minute gap. I wasn't taking no chances. I've been getting break even a lot lately, and it's not like it was an emotional close. It's a pretty valid close, right? Because we have now a giant bearish SMT going against our bullish bias, and on top of that, we have to keep in mind that, yeah, even though ES was bullish for the time being, we have an accumulation zone, and we're manipulating higher, putting in the high to the wick. And on top of that, the 1 hour and 4 hour just got inverted. So we could have easily just had that Asia SMT play in place and reversed. So that's why I full closed. But take profit ended up getting hit. And yeah, that was really it for the rest of the day. There was one more trade that I want to go over. It is going to be this this right here, this 1 minute inversion coming out of a 5-minute for value gap. And this trade was asked in Discord if it was a valid trade, and I said no, due to the fact that A, we were still inside of this 15-minute gap and we have not inverted it, and B, we have a bearish SMT going against us with these Asian highs. And on top of that, if we were to long and we still had conviction, I want to see at least a confluence get hit by equilibrium of the range, right? So we have equilibrium down here. Equilibrium is somewhere in here, right? So equilibrium doesn't have to get hit. However, I want to see a confluence get hit by equilibrium. So what do we have? We have this unfilled 5-minute right here. And in the exact same spot, it was an unfilled 15-minute. So if price came down and hit this unfilled 15-minute and then continued higher, and we seen an inversion in this leg, then yeah, that would have been valid because it would have been a lot more discounted. But since we were so fucking premium in this leg, this 1 minute inversion didn't really mean anything to me. We ended up forward testing it in the chat, and I told chat I didn't like it for those reasons, right? This is what your trade setup would have looked like. We ended up forward testing it, and then, well, what ends up happening? I don't even know. I'm pretty sure this shit did not end up working. Like, look at this fucking price action. You don't even want to be in this trade anyway. If I was in this trade, I would have just started gouging my eyes out. And we ended up getting stopped, or we didn't take this trade, but we would have ended up getting stopped out right here if we did. So this is why that setup was invalid. Why? Because it was just too premium. If we want to take conditions-based models, we want to at least see fair value gaps or whatnot. I use fair value gaps, so our fair value gaps to get hit by equilibrium and then continue higher. So maybe like it come down in here some sort, but just way too premium. It was a 1 minute version. It's not even like it was a 3 minute or anything, so it really didn't mean anything. Your break-even point would have been these highs right here, and your take profit would have been Asian highs, but it was pretty fucking bad price action ever since we hit that 15-minute bearish for value gap. So that was the reason why that trade was not a good trade. Other than that, that's really all I wanted to go over today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a sub if this video was helpful. I'd appreciate it. Every link is in the description. Free Discord in the description. So catch up boys later.